We're live.
Looks like.
Oh,
what's up?
Hi everybody. Have we got any followers yet?
Let's just wait in silence until we have an audience.
I assume it'll tell us. Oh, yeah. It says we're building an audience for you.
Oh,
Come
there we
on,
go.
audience. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. How do I look?
You look great.
God.
You do. I'm surprised.
So shall we begin? Okay.
We've got one.
Hi guys, we
Yeah.
have one viewer.
Hi,
one
viewers.
viewer.
Six
viewers.
viewers. So it's National Swing Day, Equity Swing Day. What do we call it?
Both.
Both of them. And we are here. At
We
the,
just started. We've just gone live, Jeremy.
We've gone live.
We're here at the Brooks Atkinson Theater on Broadway. My name is Henry Gottfried.
I'm Olivia Phillip.
I'm waiting for Cabazon.
Well, yeah, I just got married, so my actual name is Olivia Cabezon Lopez, and those who speak Spanish will realize that means big-headed Cabezon, which is apt. In more ways than one, because my school is like really large.
And we are two of the swings. There are 4 swings in our company, but we're 2 of the swings for Waitress the musical at the Brooks Atkinson Theater on Broadway. And we are doing this Facebook Live event for the 6 of you and counting who maybe have questions about what it's like to be a swing. And we're going to talk about what our lives are like being swings in this show and being a swing in general. We both swung before. We both swung before. And so maybe we'll start off to get things rolling, and then you guys can think of questions. And David from Equity is helping us film this, and he's going to help get your questions to us.
Hey guys.
So I guess we should start with the fact that today we are both on stage. We need to do a backstory of what a swing is, right?
Sure, yeah.
We need to go back.
Okay, I always struggle.
Very beginning.
The way that I always say it is a swing is well, I guess in theory just a swing just covers multiple things. And there's so many different ways that happens. But generally speaking, a swing is an offstage cover for multiple on-stage performers.
Right.
So for our show, which is pretty standard, Olivia and I cover multiple people. She covers 4 women in the show, and I cover 6 men in the show. And we're only on in the show. There are 8 shows a week. We're only on for the performance if one of those people that we're covering is out. So that means if they're sick, or if they're injured, or if they're out of town, if they have like a planned vacation or a planned day off, or if they understudy something else in the show and maybe somebody else is out, and so then they move to a different role and then we move into their role. So there's all kinds of different like weird configurations as to how that might happen, and it's different show to show. But for us, if we're not in the show, we're here in the building every night.
Yeah, that's what all my family are like. So when you're not on stage, like you just at home. No. Like we have to be here. We have the same call time.
No matter what.
We have a lot of rehearsal because, unlike being in the ensemble with no covers, like you would just learn one track, we have to stay up to date with all of the tracks that we cover. So this week we are rehearsing both Thursday and Friday, and we can be called in to do. Henry could maybe be the doctor one day, and the next day he might be Ogie, or the next day he might be one of the ensemble guys. So it's really, it can be confusing, but all the work goes in my opinion, or the majority of the work goes in during rehearsal. So in a rehearsal setting, if you are opening a new show, particularly, it's really different. You are not up and on your feet as like the first cast, I think you guys call it here.
Is that on the onstage cast?
Yeah, the onstage cast are. So
what do you call that?
I think I've heard people call it first cast, but then that would mean we are second cast, which I don't like. Let's call it the onstage cast. I actually joined this show after it had opened, so I'll talk about when I was in Priscilla as a swing. I'm sat there with like 5 different notebooks, and these other actors are being told, okay, you're going to stand on 6, you're going to move here, and they're up and they're doing it, and I'm writing it down. So you don't have the luxury of muscle memory. I do like to write everything down. You don't have everything written down, do you?
I do. I did do some writing down at the beginning to learn, but I don't use it really anymore. But I did the writing down so that I have it on paper, and so that in writing it down, I would like memorize it and learn it that way.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I rehearsed for this show. I started with Waitress when we started rehearsals in New York about a year ago, and exactly what Olivia's saying. Like as a swing, you're kind of like watching everything from the sidelines, from from the theater, from the house, from the back of the house during a show, from the back of the room in the rehearsal room, just trying to like be wherever you can that's kind of like out of the way but still observing everything, taking videos, taking photos, taking notes, drawing diagrams, highlighting, color coding and everything. It's a total like mind.
Don't swear.
But so, and you're not really on your feet unless maybe in rehearsal like somebody's out that day, somebody's sick in rehearsal, and you're going to jump in and kind of like learn their track on the go. But
and for mine rehearsal, obviously the show was already up and running. So I was in Ripley Greer with one member of stage management and our dance captain, and trying to learn a show where at some points maybe there's like 15 people on stage. And there is just me. So I'm like, okay, so where's the other person? And Max is like, okay, they'll be around here. So the first time like I actually went on stage, I was like, oh, okay, right.
We should also cover, I feel like this always happens, we should cover what a track is because we keep using that word. A track in a Broadway show, in a musical, in like a big show like this is like every person on stage has a track that belongs to them. So that might be like the role of Dawn is that track. And like, you know, Dawn has her lines and she has her vocal parts and she has her props that she uses and she has her traffic on stage where she moves. But unnamed ensemble person in the middle here who wears this particular costume and who like grabs this particular prop at this time and he stands in the line third from the left and he steps on his right foot first at the beginning of this number.
Right.
He has his own track too, and it's standard night to night. He does those things, and if he's sick, somebody comes into his track, or if he's out, I go on and I do his track and I do everything as he does it in the show. So even though he doesn't have a named role, it's the guy who moves the table from here to here, and it's the guy who like, you know, grabs the flower and makes sure to put it in this particular spot and everything like that. So those are tracks. And like in our ensemble, there are 3 ensemble male tracks and 4 ensemble female tracks. Yeah, and then there are the named principal roles after that.
Are there any questions yet?
Not yet, but someone likes your water bottle.
Somebody likes what?
The water bottle, the swell bottle.
Yeah, it has this
We're rocking 2 swells.
Mine is the largest 750 milliliter bottle that was actually gifted to me by my Secret Santa, who was Caitlin Houlihan, who plays Dawn.
Oh, that's
right?
Nice.
But yours is the one I like, so.
No, they're like, well, it just says the swell bottle. We don't know which one.
It's this one, sure. It's
We don't have any other questions yet?
Let's give more information.
Well, let's tell more about ourselves. So this is not your first or even second time swinging, right?
Second time swinging.
Oh.
I was a swing on Priscilla.
But not a Mormon?
No, I was an ensemble.
Oh.
Yeah. So I swung Priscilla, which was weird as a swing because...
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert on London's West End. So this is Olivia's second Broadway show, but she did 3-4 West End shows before moving to the States.
Yeah. So Priscilla's weird because everything that I feel normally swings cover or principally cover the ensemble. I feel it's a fair statement.
Like that's it's more common for a swing to cover a bunch of ensemble tracks, and sometimes they might cover several ensemble tracks and a principal role or two.
Like Henry does here.
But it's like less common to cover like
a swing like you would rarely have, which was the case in Priscilla, a swing where you only cover featured or principal parts.
Because then it would be an understudy here.
Right, but I was a swing in Priscilla, and the only people
ensemble
exactly
in the show.
Right. So I covered all 3 divas, Cynthia, the ping pong girl, and Shirley. So there was never a time that I was on just doing the ensemble tracks, which I kind of preferred.
Because there were no women ensemble tracks.
There were no, like I mean, they kind of go a little between, I guess, like when the divas aren't the divas, then they're kind of dressed in the ensemble.
Yeah.
But I preferred it because it was more. It was like significantly different. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're on as an ensemble track, like you know, you're all doing a similar thing. Maybe you'll move on a different count, or you're going to a different number, but you're all doing the same choreography, or you're all, you know, doing the background vocals. Like this was like all completely different. So I found it really
each
easy.
woman was really distinct.
Yeah.
So,
And then like with the other characters, Cynthia and Shirley, I was like, okay, this is there was no way you could get confused. Whereas
you could definitely get confused on Waitress because none of the ensemble members have in Waitress, like none of them are named. I mean, there's a couple little features for the women, kind of, but like Francine and Norma.
Right, but they're very small.
And the Ghost Mom, I guess, but like they really are kind of all working together as an ensemble, and sometimes it's these two people are together and they do, but sometimes it's a different pairing, and it can be very. It's all like, you know, when you watch the show, you just see, I think, the swirl of these 9 ensemble members all kind of working together and doing different things. You don't notice necessarily like that one girl who's always doing the XYZ, like they don't necessarily.
Unless it goes wrong, which I went wrong the other day. Should I put this out there? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there. So I was like, let's say on Tuesday and Wednesday, I was on for Stephanie Torns. Who was on for Jenna, I believe. The days are made up, but so I was on for Steph like the beginning of the week. No.
Yeah, something like that. And then you were on.
Oh yeah. And then I was on for Nurse Norma, who's played by Anastasia McCleskey. And so let's say it's the Wednesday, and I've done Steph for the first part of the week, and then I go on for Stacey. We're having a really nice time. Show's going on, and then we get to the wedding. And in the wedding, Dawn and Ogie are getting married, and we're just all the wedding guests, and like, oh, isn't it lovely? And there's one part where we make like a human bridge,
tunnel,
a human tunnel for the bride and groom to run down.
Yeah.
And
we were on together.
We were on together.
Yeah.
So I am running into position, and I get to my position, and Henry was stood where I thought I was meant to be, and I was like, Henry, get it together. I was like, you're on the other side. And he's like, looks a bit like confused, but then like stays there. Or did you stop? No, then he moved. Yeah. So I was like, so which confirmed to me that Henry was in the wrong place.
Come on, man. We
We
don't have to show this on camera. I'll go around the back. Okay.
So yeah, it confirmed to me that Henry was in the wrong position.
Are you guys doing the swing day?
Yeah!
Wait, that's what's happening right now?
Yeah!
Okay, is it going to be loud if I shower while you guys are talking?
Dude,
No, fine, right?
we'll find it.
And so yeah, so I'm like, we carry the show. I'm like, Henry, this is not okay. Is it too loud? We're fine. and then we go to the next position. No, that's wrong. Then you're fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Then Stephanie, who I was 2 days prior, is like pushing me, and I'm like, Steph, you do this 8 shows a week. I was like, you really need to get it together because you should know your positions by now. Still, Olivia, I'm like, there's no way I'm wrong. But then the couple are walking down underneath the bridge, and I am stood in the middle because there is no space for me to stand because clearly I'm in the wrong spot. And so they kind of like go around me. I continue doing the number thinking I am this wrong person, and Steph the whole time is laughing, and she's like, just like trying to get around me and like move. And it wasn't until the very, very end where we like all couple up for the end position. And there's like
and you didn't couple. There was like a couple, and like a threesome because you just didn't stand with.
And then right then I was like, oh no, it was definitely me. So you know, lesson to be learned is.
It happens all the time, and it doesn't matter how many times you go. It's not a question of not knowing what you're supposed to do. It's just the weird like mind game of like I'm trying to keep things separate. In your
and when you
head,
get comfortable with it, when you're not
Yeah.
when you're not constantly like nervous and thinking hard about it, then you can quite easily go wrong.
Do you have any questions yet?
No, but Molly's watching, and she says she loves you guys.
Molly, who?
Which Molly, Hager or Joe?
Joe.
Oh, she's in England. Go to bed, lady.
How was the show?
How was the show,
How is Harry
Molly?
Potter, Molly?
We'll see if she answers.
Anyone do we have like 11 people watching now?
No, we're at 15. It keeps going up and down and up
Come on,
and down.
tune in, people.
But people can also watch this after the fact.
Okay.
Ask us some questions. If you have any questions, guys.
Henry, why don't you show us your station and how you keep things organized when you play so many different parts?
Organized is a big joke. Let me move some of the crap out of the way of my station.
Molly says the show is life-changing.
Oh, wow.
Not our show. She's in my Harry Potter.
Waitress is also life-changing.
Waitress is also life-changing. This is my station. It's a disaster zone, but part of that is because I spend more time up here than a lot of the other people in this dressing room. Not recently, but like in theory, I might have several days a week where I'm hanging out here during the show, which these guys are not. The other guys who are on the ensemble will be downstairs, mostly on stage or in the wings or whatever. So I have a lot of stuff with me. I have books to read, and I have food with me, and I have like, you know, change of clothes and God knows what.
Steam inhaler for when things get tough.
Here, I'll show you some, like, let's see if I have anything good in my script from swinging. I did some color coding, like the different roles that I cover, color coded so they're highlighted in different ways. Like these blue tabs are all for Pomander scenes, the green tabs are for Earl scenes, the orange tabs are for Ogie scenes.
So you cover a lot of the leads as well as
3
ensembles.
leads and 3 ensemble men, yeah. And then these are tracking sheets that that stage management made just with entrances and exits, but these are tracking sheets that I made for the different. So this is what Olivia was talking about, writing down, you know, having notes. It says where I enter, what I'm wearing, what props I bring with me, what I do on stage, and then when I leave the stage, also what your kind of choreography is backstage. So where you go and change,
Which hair can be as
where you
intricate
find
as-
your props and where you enter next second.
I have much smaller ones. I have like
Note cards?
note cards that I can bring with me, and I can either like put them in my pocket or leave them backstage. So if it's for a track I haven't done in a long time, I'd come off stage and I'd be like, okay, what scene are we on? Okay, exit, enter stage left 1, exit stage right 3, you know, just for this brain of mine, because she's getting old, you know.
So you guys are both on today, and you're both on at the matinee also.
Yeah.
When did you find out that you were going to be on today?
I got a text. I can tell you exactly, maybe. I got a text at like 10 o'clock from our stage manager that
For the 2 o'clock show.
for the 2 o'clock show. That
it's
said,
because-
it's because Caitlin, who plays Dawn, is out. So Stephanie, who's in the ensemble, has gone on for Caitlin, and I'm going on for Stephanie. So I got that text at 10. It's not really nerving at this point because I've been on for Stephanie quite a lot, but I guess there are some tracks that I would have done lesser that would maybe require me to be like,
Have you ever?
Okay.
You've never gone on for Molly Hager.
I have gone on for Molly Hager.
Oh, but they split it up.
Yeah, because I can't do
Right.
Ghost one. So I've been on for Molly once or twice, but not in a long time. So let's say Tom did text me at 10 o'clock this morning and I was going to be on for Molly today. I would then have maybe come in a little bit early,
your
looked
notes.
at my notes.
On stage to look at Spike Last on stage.
Just to like refresh my memory. What about you? When were you from?
I think I got a text at like 12 or 12:30, probably closer to 12, for the 2 o'clock show that Faye, one of our ensemble guys, was out and I was going to be on for him.
So we have a question from Abby. I'm going to murder her last name, but I think it's Vachin, we'll say.
Yeah, matching.
I'll be watching.
What advice do you have for people learning to be swings?
Learning to be swings. I'm gonna assume that means maybe that you are working like as a swing, like at wherever you're.
Like if you got cast as a swing for the first time.
Right.
Okay, for Priscilla, I didn't
Which was your
really,
first
which was
swing
my
job?
first swing job. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I turned up for day one with no notebook, no pens, no highlighters. It's really, really important to be prepared in that sense because, I mean, unless you have this amazingly able brain that you can maintain up to.
This is literally a pouch of like.
Right.
This is something I put together in my first swing job, I think. This is not my third job swinging, and it's like different colored highlighters, different colored, posted tabs, sticky notes, and different colored pens, and just all the materials like to be able to coordinate things, like
Because
color
it's-
coordinate and.
Yeah, you're learning a lot of it in the time that the majority of the class learn one track. You could be learning anywhere from 3 to 15.
Ugh.
So it's you have to be prepared, like physically with.
But the other thing is that I always think about this like even just like 8 years ago or 10 years ago swinging compared to now, like the thing that I did so much of in this rehearsal is just taking photos and videos of
Right,
everything.
exactly,
So
yeah.
the first job I had, you know Sarah, what is her name? She's a Brit and she is like one of Rap Ashford's main people, but she's like a dancer and she's amazing. And anyway, she was one of the associates on Peter Pan, which was my first job swinging, and she turned to me, she was like, just take a cheeky video of everything. And I was like, a cheeky video? Like, but it's so much easier to be able to take a video of it. They're like, okay, we're gonna run the number again. You're like, okay, great, now I'll get on my phone, I'll take the video. You're watching, you're trying to like be involved in something, you take notes. I took a lot of notes, but you take a lot of pencil notes and you end up like crossing a lot of things out, erasing a lot of things. Then they restage the whole number, and you're tearing out that whole page, and you're like, well, I don't even know how to write down the new version.
Right.
Whereas like you take the video, and then like a week later they're like, you guys, we're gonna change the choreography slightly. You take a new video and you delete the old one or whatever, and then you can go back to the video and you can look on it and you can say, oh wait, let me replay this over and over and over. Wait, is she moving behind him or in front of him? Oh, she's moving in front of him. Now I'm glad that, you know. So
and
like,
they're the important things as well. Like choreography, yes, obviously you have to learn it and finesse that and stuff, but traffic, I think, is one of the most important things, because the difference between me going like downstage of Henry and upstage of Henry,
everything,
it could be like,
yeah, and then it's like, well, why can't you were supposed to, you know.
So that for me was like a big thing to learn and understand, like, you know, the little details that you really don't even think about if you're just learning one track are really important. And especially in this show where we have so many props, and like handing a spoon to Jessie, like handle first means she can't. Oh, if I
oh, sorry.
The water bottle's gone. You know, there's a thing that Aisha does with that smash now.
What?
It's not glass.
No.
There's as Aisha, you hand her the spoon and you have to handle first, so then she can take it and start stirring. And so if you do that the wrong way around, she can't stir the bowl with the handle of it. You know, like all the little weird, intricate things. So yeah.
We have a question.
Yes!
From Shariah Cochran.
Yes!
She says, when you swing into the named roles, how much freedom do you have to play with the personality of the character? And then there's a PS, but it's cut off here, but she saw you, Olivia, when you were in as the nurse.
Yay!
And I think she liked it.
Thank you. Imagine, and it was horrible.
That's really a question about understudying in general, not about swinging, which applies here, but it's, you know, it's hard to say. The bottom line is that, like, in most shows, some shows might you know, have a different, because of how they're built. If it's maybe like a 4-person musical where they mostly are kind of standing on separate quadrants of the stage and they don't, you know what I mean? That could be a different thing. But in most Broadway shows, which are very intricate and have a lot of moving parts and are like these enormous machines with like a million wheels that all have to spin together, the sometimes frustrating reality of understudying, we've both understudied several times, right? Is that the most important thing, and frankly the thing that matters, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's like not till you get to 6 and 7 that the other things matter, is that the machine continues to run the way it's supposed to, the way it does every night, the way that everyone else is used to, such that like it looks totally seamless, so that nobody really feels in the show like anything's different. Nobody notices from the audience maybe that anything's different, and so that means that your priority is really doing things as close to what everyone is used to as possible. And yes, you're a different person, and you might bring a different characterization, and you sing the song slightly different, and you tell a joke slightly differently, and you punctuate a line slightly different, and rhythmically there might be some difference in terms of what you want to invest in the character, what you want to imbue in the role. But yeah, it's like it's a like push and pull between wanting to give your own spin and needing to like let things be what they are every night, as consistent as possible. And
like I'm trying to think.
It's a constant conversation. I mean, we've both been on for these roles a bunch of times, and there's still kind of a back and forth where like it's like, oh well, I need to alter this slightly or whatever.
I think like Henry's obviously right, but like I mean, the nurse is a much smaller part than some of the parts that Henry covers. But I remember when learning Nurse Norma, I was learning it from Charity, who's now playing Becky, and we're very, very different age-wise, physique-wise. We're completely different people. So for me to try and do Charity's Nurse Norma wouldn't work. It's not right for me. It wouldn't look right. It wouldn't sound right. So I had to kind of adapt a way that would work for me. And so I have tried to age her slightly. I think she's meant to be a little bit older. Not with makeup and drawing lines in my face, but you know, in like her physique and the little shuffle and everything like that. So I mean, I think in a well-written show, the character and what the character should convey should be relatively obvious. it's not like you're having a stab in the dark, like, oh my god, well, I'm going to play Nurse Norma, like a 17-year-old
Yeah, there's
girl.
some things that are on paper. It needs to work
Right,
this way. She
right.
has to have this kind of attitude. She has to have this kind
Right.
of personality.
So you
And
try
as long as you hit those marks, hopefully you can do it your own way.
But then there's also this thing that understudies don't want to do a copy and paste. So it's quite...
It's a
It's a good question.
Yeah.
When you find out, let us know.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Not yet?
Not yet.
Come on, Shariah, that was a great question.
So, your show curtains at 7:30. What time do you start getting ready for tonight?
Well, we have to be in the theatre.
Like 30 minutes, although for this show sometimes it's 40 minutes before because we do a quick run of one like moment of aggression, we call it, kind of a fight call, and then a couple lifts that we run before the show. But everyone in the building has to be here, all the actors have to be here a half hour before the show starts, at which point we're like getting into costume and
makeup on.
Yeah, the girls
Prepping
are
your hair.
prepping their hair to put
Well,
wigs
we
on.
did a show earlier, so hair's already
She's
prepped.
ready to go.
There's still a little bit of makeup on there. A little bit.
A little bit.
But yeah, so like, but for when a 2-show day, the show starts at 7:30. I'm already basically in makeup, but we'll go up and maybe warm up and, you know, center the mind. Who am I kidding? I don't center no mind.
You might warm up, depending on what kind of show, what the demands of the show are. You might like, you know, some people, you might need to get here even earlier to put on. It might be a lot of makeup. There
I
might
like
be
cats.
intense
I don't know
physical-
how early they have to be there, but just to be able to do that, I would have to warm up for at least 3 days. So I would, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would need like a 6
72
to 9
hours.
year warm up dance class.
Okay, Abby has another question.
Yes!
Come on, Abby!
About best note-taking advice. She says the theater where she's working at won't let them record.
Oh, that is classic. They think that they are taking themselves seriously, but they're really just screwing you over.
Yeah.
There's no reason that you should not be able to record rehearsal footage for yourself.
You should ask your dance captain to record, because dance captains have managerial duties.
See if your dance captain, or if you're, if you have, you might not have a dance captain depending on what you're doing, but if you have a, like an assistant to the choreographer or assistant to the director or something, someone who can, in an official capacity, take, you know, rehearsal footage. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to be posted. It's not to be shown to anyone else. It's literally for archival, for like reference use for you. So push them on it and see if they'll let you.
Yeah,
because
maybe
of that.
speak to stage
and tell them
management.
that's how people on Broadway are doing it.
Well.
I don't know where you're working, but otherwise, like, I mean, people were doing it for years and years and years without taking videos. So, like, it's definitely like an amazing.
I took less videos
Asset.
here, honestly.
Really?
I really did take less, but then I learned it in a different
Setting,
setting, so it was,
watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, you draw
They should
diagrams.
let you
Let me
take
think if I
videos.
have any diagrams here. Like,
You can
I
get
really
like,
did.
can they give you a map? Like do you have any?
This
Sometimes
was
they'll
like
give you,
before. This all totally changed, and then see, I crossed through because it changed, and then I wrote a new one, and I crossed through because it changed again, and whatever. But this, you know, who's entering with the sofa? Ryan on right, Stephanie on left. It's turning 360. Ryan's going downstage. Stephanie's going up. Land at 8 and 2, which is where their marks were going to be when they're laying. So, like, you know, there's not a wrong way. You come up with your own system, and it's whatever you're going to be able to read later and go, yeah, I know what I meant by
But
that.
they should be able to give you, especially if they're refusing to let you film it, they should be able to give you like a map of the stage on a piece of
Yeah,
paper.
I think, yeah.
And then you can notate, like, you know, maybe Henry has some somewhere. And you
Okay,
can
so
write
if you
your-
look at the Equity Team Swing hashtag on Instagram today, I know a couple people posted pictures of their maps.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I saw one from Cats and one from Great Comet, so you
Yeah,
can see
they can be
what
really
they do with
helpful.
those.
Yeah.
But I
Here,
think-
here. This is our one for Waitress, which is.
Yeah. So they should
Our
provide you with
stage
the
management
stage
asked
management.
us, how do you want it to look? Do you want it to have any set pieces on it? Do you want it to be a blank stage? Do you want it to be the full page or whatever? And we, the Swings, asked for it this way so that there was an empty stage, just the numbers. We could draw in the set pieces because they move around, like scene to scene, they're in different spots. And then there's a blank space down below to also write in, notes.
And
So
entrances,
yeah, and exactly, you can mark, like, am I entering downstage right, downstage left, so just a blank stage that has the right layout, that has the shape of it and everything. If you use numbers on your stage, which some theaters might not, but
So then, can I give an example? Can I
Yeah.
write on that, Henry?
Yeah.
So let's say we're entering for what's inside. So, and I'm on for Steph. So, oh, that pen doesn't work. Here we go. So, say Jessie is center. So I would do that. So I know that that's where Jessie would be. And Steph enters, I think 210, probably wrong, but let's do this. So I would mark Steph there. She comes on from wing 1. and then she'll move around. Her second position, she would move around, and she's on there's a mic cover on the floor, and an empty one, and she moves around to that position. So I would then know that Steph's doing that.
And maybe you'd want to, like, if it was helpful, you might be like, I don't know, you might be like 1, 2, 3, and then you'd be able to be like, look down here, like, enter on cue line, like, and you'd say what the line is, sugar, or whatever.
No, it's need. I know that one.
Need. And then 2, we're gonna, you know, like
you
a
do
note,
Korean
like,
and blah, blah, blah.
make sure to wait for they
Right.
to walk first, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have the map here, but you also have the details or whatever. I don't know, that could be.
Yeah, I like that method. That's what I did.
She says, you guys are so great. Thank you so much.
You're
Hugs.
welcome.
Wow, so grateful.
Come on, Abby.
If someone's woken up.
Abby, you should let us know what show you're doing so that people who are watching this can come see you.
Yeah, and so we can call out this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your half-hour call. That's 1 half hour.
Wait, you'll hear it
Off
now.
the show half hour, please. For this evening, Stephanie is going to be on as Dawn. Olivia is on for Stephanie slash Francine. Henry is on for Thay. Max is going to be doing the Chagall lift in place of Jeremy for tonight.
Why?
Max is just going to be doing the
Because
Chagall
Jeremy's
lift
back.
in place of Jeremy for
Aww.
tonight. Molly Job's on vacation.
Hi, Molly.
Ella Dane Morgan is our Lulu. And Danny Fox is on keyboard too. Miss Nadia is conducting. We're at half hour.
Yeah, I was excited. It was a
Wasn't that
perfect way to
nice?
end
Thank you.
things. I forgot to sign in. Was that Henry?
I think I haven't signed in either. Ryan Vasquez, Hamilton's Ryan Vasquez.
Yay! Hello, we're around.
Jeremy Moss.
This
Wait,
guy.
the musical, Jeremy Moss.
Is it fun?
And
Is
if
it
anybody needs
successful?
PT
There's a
for
huge
Jeremy,
chance we had like
6 o'clock
11
slot
to 12 people tune in.
No, it's been more than that. It's a constant rotation.
Yeah.
All right, so this is probably a great time to get out of your way so you can go do a show.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Equity.